So where's the best place for you to sell your silver and gold without getting screwed? How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Empire Precious Metals. Recently, I was asked the question, where should I sell my silver and gold so I don't get screwed? More or less, this is the question that I received from a bunch of people, and I'm pretty certain at some point, some of you watching this video are going to want to know, how can you sell your silver and gold without losing some of that precious money that you're getting in return, some of that precious fiat that so many of us try to avoid? Okay, so I essentially laid out 6 different things in which you can do, or groups or people who you can sell to. And I kind of put them in order in terms of the best and where you're going to get the most bang for your buck to the very worst, like the last resort, who you should sell to. Some of these might shock you and some of them may not. And this information might be more useful for the novice stacker who's just starting out in this hobby, and it could also help some of you who have never sold and you're looking to do so. All right, so the first one, I'm going to start with the best, like where you should aim to sell your silver and gold, or who you should sell your silver and gold to so you can maximize your return on your initial investment. And that's to another collector or stacker in person. That is because you are not going to have any middlemen or businesses in between you to conduct the transaction. So you essentially want to find a qualified buyer and sell to them directly. Arguably, the best thing for you to do is to get paid in cash. If you can't, then maybe do it in Zelle. Reason I say Zelle or maybe a Cash App is because for things like PayPal and for, I'm brain cramping here, guys. I guess just like PayPal and Cash App, PayPal and Venmo. Sometimes I have heard of stories and have seen people get transactions reversed after the money has been sent to them. And so that can cause a problem. So the best thing for you to do is to obviously deal in cash. Now, there's some logistics that you have to iron out when it comes to doing these types of transactions, especially if they're going to be for a high cash value. You want to do it in a space that you are both comfortable, possibly a parking lot near a police station or a public place. I did this right around the beginning of COVID. I don't know if the person is still watching my channel, but I sold tubes of Silver Eagles to an individual, and we met at a local department store, did the transaction in the lobby, and that was that. And so I was able to get my cash. They were able to get their coins. We both went on our merry way, no problem. But if you are the buyer, you want to bring some sort of testing device so that way you can make sure that the metals are real. And if you're the seller, you might want to do that as a courtesy, bring some sort of testing device like a Sigma Metalytics machine to show and demonstrate that the coins are real. That being said, again, in person to another collector or a stacker is the best way to go. You're going to get the most amount of money. You'll have to pay no commissions to any business or person. That's the way to go. Next, I would say if you can't do in person, do in a peer-to-peer group. I know that there's a lot of Discord groups. There's groups on Facebook and some other, maybe even Reddit. But there are communities who do like a buy, sell, swap. If you are in some of these communities and they are vetted sellers or buyers, then you might be able to do it there. I don't know of any off the top of my head. I know that they exist. I just don't know how they are structured. I don't know if the people who run those servers and groups take a commission on the sales. In my Discord, it's been brought up a couple of times for people to do some buy, sell, and trade, but it's too much to police. Also, I wouldn't want to have on my conscience the fact that maybe somebody was a member, sold items, took money, and then just disappeared, dropped off the server and left. I don't want to, my name is associated with my Discord. It's my product, it's my community, so I don't want that on my Discord server. But I know some peer-to-peer groups do a good job at vetting these individuals and sellers, etc. So you could do it there. And that might be a convenient thing for you as well, because You don't have to meet somebody in person to do the transaction, and maybe you have a potential buyer, they're several states away, but they're willing to pay you. Hey, that could be a convenient thing that you just ship them the items and they pay you. But again, you got to be very careful of who you're doing business with. So that would be my second go-to, okay? A peer-to-peer group of other collectors and stackers. Next, I would say do a coin show. You could sell in a coin show to different tables, and sometimes you could get a good deal. Sometimes there's people looking for a specific item that were just talking to the dealer at the table, and they, the dealer is able to buy the items from you at a better rate and be a little bit more aggressive. That might be something that you want to consider. Also, it's out of convenience. You just unload the items to them right then and there. You get your money and you're all set and you're done with those items. You don't have to worry about listing them on eBay, which I'm going to get to next. You don't have to worry about taking pictures. You don't have to worry about a higher commission, etc. So that's something for you to consider, okay? Next, I would say to a dealer. So, and the dealer can kind of go in line with the coin show. So I would say coin shows and dealers, you kind of put them at the same spot. Myself being a dealer, I have paid fairly reasonably for specific items. And I've had repeat customers come to me and sell me their items just because I offer some of the better rates and they trust me. And I've been around for nearly 6 years, or sorry, almost 7 years now here on YouTube. So if you are able to work with a dealer online, that might be your best bet. So same with the coin show, working with the dealer. The only difference with the coin show, and why I would say like the coin show is maybe a step up from like a social media seller such as myself, is that you get the money right then and there, as opposed to a dealer like me. What I do is I have the people send me the items. Once I get the items and I verify that they are all real and I run them through my Sigma Metalytics machine, then I pay them immediately. And I'm pretty good with my turnaround as well. But that's why I say the coin show dealers eke out the social media sellers just because you get that money right away. Which brings me next to eBay. eBay, the problem with eBay is, like I said before, you have to list the items, you have to pay a commission. Unless you have a store on eBay, I think it's lower, but you have to pay for that service. And I think maybe you have to have a certain amount of transactions. I don't know the specifics, but I think that drops your commission down to 9%. So that's the problem then, is that you are dealing with eBay. Now, the benefit of eBay, obviously, is the platform is huge. It is a tremendously large, huge platform that will get you exposure to your specific items. I've used it before, but again, you're going to have to pay those fees, and you're going to have to pay, you're going to have to spend time. And sometimes your items might not sell for what you want them to. And that's the other thing too, that you're going to have to kind of figure out. Do you want to take a loss? Sometimes you might take a loss. Sometimes you're going to get nailed and take you're going to get a lot less than the most recent comps, which is also crappy, but that's the name of the game. So I would say eBay would be the next spot to try to sell your metals. The other last thing too that's difficult with eBay is you're competing with everybody else that's on that platform. And some of these eBay sellers have large stores and a high transaction count. So you're going to have to consider that as well, especially if you're new to eBay and you haven't really sold before. You might not get a lot of eyeballs on your listing. So then this is the last place I would say for you to sell your items. You're going to get convenience out of this, but this is where I think you should go last to sell your items, and that is to your local coin shop or to a jeweler or a We Buy Gold place, any of those types of stores. I'm not trying to, I'm very good friends with a bunch of people that own local coin shops, and I'm not trying to screw them over. Again, I think that they are providing a huge service and a tremendous amount of convenience. But if you're looking to maximize the money that you are getting out of the silver and gold that you are selling, then you do not want to sell to a business. And the reason being is they've got overhead. They have to pay their lease unless they own the building, but they have to pay their employees. They have to hold the objects until they're able to sell the objects. They are assuming the risk they're going to lowball you. A lot of you have seen this happen. They will lowball you on specific products, things that you think have tremendous collectability and value. I'm just going to give you an example, like this Death Star coin. Okay, if I were to go into some local coin shops and say, hey, I would like to sell this to you, they may just offer you spot, and they're not going to give a crap that the thing is worth a lot more on eBay. Some of the local coin shops don't have a big eBay presence and they don't give a rat's behind. So they're going to just offer you spot for it, and then maybe they'll sell it in the shop for a little bit more than that they paid for it from you, or they might just send it to a refiner. There's various things that different local coin shop owners do, but again, you have to remember that they are going to resell the items and that they're assuming the risk and that they're cashing it out, but they've got to now assume that risk and they got to hold the items, etc. So you're going to essentially get less of an offer for your items. So I would say use those as a last resort. Those are going to be the quickest way for you to unload and get the cash that you need, but they are also going to usually offer you less than all the other options that I told you before. So to recap, sell to a person in person for cash. That's the best. Then in a peer-to-peer group, that's number 2. Then to a coin show vendor or a social media dealer such as myself. Those come in third. Then comes eBay, and then I would say those different businesses like the local coin shop, jeweler, etc. Anyway, guys, if I've left out any other avenues to sell your silver and gold, let me know in the comments below. What has been your experience when you are selling your silver and gold? Where have you done the absolute best and where have you gotten hosed? Let me know in the comments below. And if you thought this video was helpful, definitely subscribe, hit that like button. I'll see you guys on the next one.